I grew up in a world of self-confidence, a world in which self-help gurus, sociologists, psychologists, life coaches, and even pastors make their living teaching you to be self-aware, to practice self-acceptance, to find self-love, to know self-confidence. Now, the heart of that means that we believe that we merit whatever is given to us. If we can be made self-aware, then we'll be more successful in life because we'll know our strengths and weaknesses. If we gain self-acceptance, then we'll do better in relationships because we'll accept others as well. If we have self-love, then we won't need the affirmations of the community. We'll have enough strength without other people. And if we have self-confidence, then the heart of our identity is only internal. It's inside ourselves. Therefore, any success we have in life means that our self deserves it. We could say, well, I've worked for it, or I've sacrificed for it, or I get this because I've done what is necessary to merit it. Here's a question for us. What if the meaning of life is to be in relationship with the Creator, to be in His presence now, and eventually to stand before Him and be in His presence forever? Let's say that's the meaning of life. Well, on the face of it, then this is good news for the self-possessed, for the self-promoting, the self-reliant, and the self-confident. Because all those people can say, well, I've earned a place in God's presence. Well, okay, then what does this cross mean? What does Jesus' cross mean? If we do it all ourselves, why was the cross even necessary? So what if it's a deeper truth, a more ancient truth, that even the person with the most self-confidence still doesn't have enough to merit a relationship with God? What if it's true that the most self-aware person still doesn't understand enough to gain access to the Eternal Father? What if the most self-promoting still can't promote themselves to the front of the line in the afterlife? I mean, after all, the most self-aware person will still have to spend so much time working on their own internal awareness that we'll actually find them completely self-absorbed. The most self-confident people are also those who have spent so much time on their confidence that we find them self-aggrandizing. The most self-reliant people are actually pretty selfish. The most self-loving is really just narcissistic. I think we find that on balance, no amount of self-help will get it right. No amount of self-help will get everything in perfect balance. We can't be made perfect because even the best intentions, they still flop over to the other side and they end up becoming wrong-headed or poorly targeted, or as God calls it, sinful. The deeper truth, the deeper reality is this. That sin wipes away the merit of whatever we do. It's a sad truth that even the tiniest imperfection sets up an invisible fence between us and our perfect Heavenly Father. That tendency to take what might be good and go just that one step too far until it turns into something that's unhelpful or unprofessional or unwise, yeah, that causes a problem. If that sin if that sin that weighs on even the most self-aware, the most self-loving, and self-confident of us were only a little grain of sand, if that sin were only a little grain of sand, the weight of the sin of 2.4 billion Christians alive today, well, it would be impossible to calculate. What does the cross mean? Well, it was our sin that Jesus bore on his shoulders on that cross. The weight of the sin of all 2.4 billion of us alive, not to mention the weight of the sin of all those who've gone before us. It crushed him. It crushed the life out of God. Now, what if it isn't even necessary for us to self-promote, or to be self-confident, or to self-will ourselves into the eternal presence of God? What if the weight of our sin was borne by Jesus into the grave and then tossed aside for all those who follow him today? Then this would be good news, right? Then this would be good news, and it would also point to a sad Good Friday reality. That the greatest sin on Jesus' shoulders belongs to those who consider themselves holy without him. The greatest sin that he carries on his shoulders belongs to those who consider themselves holy without him. Those who are confident in their own merit are those who will ignore the beauty of the gift of God that was revealed on the cross, because the cross is the only sacrifice that can throw away our sin, that can toss it aside once and for all. Because it's not through self-confidence or self-awareness or self-love that we merit God's presence. Instead, it was the self-emptying of Jesus who gave up his life. It was the self-denying of the one and only Son who gave up his life for us. It was the self-destruction of God with us in favor of us, for us who didn't deserve it. It was the self-giving of the only one who truly merits being in the Father's presence, who gave it all away for us. That's what the cross means.